In this video, we're going to show how we can track spec measurements while making pattern adjustments. This workflow is useful when a garment design and/or fit are constrained by standard measurements of a fit-approved block or constrained by measurements provided in a tech pack in the sample expected to meet those specifications. If you would like to follow along with the BW file, the specification handout is also available in the download section of this lesson. We will begin adjusting this garment by starting with a basic block provided. For this block, we already have some rulers saved and have exported the CSV file for reference. After studying the tech pack, we see the following adjustments are needed. Adjust the neckline, adjust the length, add volume to bodice, add a side slit, adjust the shoulder width, adjust sleeve length, and add a pocket. Note, while making the design and fit changes, it is always important to cross-reference the measurements of the patterns to the measurements required on the specification sheet. It is also important that the measurement does not exceed the tolerance amount listed. We will begin by adjusting the neckline. In the tech pack, the measurement of the front neck drop is 16.8 centimeters. We will use the front neck drop internal line marking and change the measurement to 16.8 centimeters. Then, we'll adjust the line to the correct position and drag the neckline marking down. We can now use slide to drag the center front panel point downwards. Note, when using existing rulers, remember the changes will also reflect on the ruler pane. This can be helpful for you to track your measurements. Next, we will increase the length of the front and back bodice. The front bodice measurement from high point shoulder is 64 centimeters, and the back bodice measurement from the high point shoulder is 73 centimeters. The current measurement for the front length is 67.7 centimeters. We will need to move the hem up by 3.7 centimeters. Let's turn on multi-move and use transformations to move the hem. We can use the same method for the back bodice. Before we add side slits, let's increase the volume of the bodice. On the specification sheet, the half hem circumference required is 65 centimeters. The current measurement in V-stitcher is 56.46 centimeters. We need to add about 4.25 centimeters to both the front and back bodice. We can do this by using slash and spread. We will need to divide 4.25 centimeters between the number of slashes we are using in the spread. In this case, we are adding 4 slashes, so each section we need will spread by 1.06 centimeters. After implementing the spread, we'll be sure to check the total hem length to ensure the measurements meet the specification sheet. Great! Seems like we are within the tolerance amount. We can now add the slit. In the specification sheet, it states that the slit opening is 30 centimeters from the armhole point. We'll add a corner point 30 centimeters away from the armhole point and adjust the stitching. Next, let's adjust the shoulder width to 10 centimeters as stated in the specification sheet. Since we moved the shoulder point in, we will need to adjust the sleeve cap height by 3 centimeters. Once that is done, we can double check to see if the armhole measurements are meeting the required specs. We're right on track. One last block adjustment is the sleeve length. We can reduce the sleeve length using the same method we used to adjust the length of the garment or by using slide. Just make sure the sleeve length is 17.5 centimeters. For this garment, we have one new design detail to add, which is a patch pocket. As seen on the specification sheet, it is a square pocket with the dimensions of 12.8 centimeters by 12.8 centimeters. To get the correct placement, we will use the attach method and adjust the measurement displayed position to measure from the high point shoulder and the center front point. We can input the measurements as stated on the specification sheet, and we now have a correct pocket placement. The last step is to detach, trace the pocket placement on the bodice, and stitch the pocket to the bodice. Don't forget to arrange the pattern. Ensure Use in 3D is enabled and set the 3D layer to be higher than the bodice. To finish, we can double check the required measurements. The measurements meet the specification sheet and we are complete. In this video, you've learned how to track spec measurements while making pattern adjustments. For more information, check out the Browswear Help Center.